Welcome back to the Remotely Speaking Podcast. We're your hosts, Paul and Chastity Hawkins, and today we're going to talk about something I love to talk about, which is the retrospective. First question for this is, what in the world is a retrospective?
What the heck is it?
How does it think?
Yeah, well, in Army terms, because I grew up with an Army dad, and so did he, and then Paul was in the Army.
That's right. Yeah.
They call it an after-action review.
Oh,
So you
right.
Army folk, military people probably know what we're talking about. But in
our
Sidekicks land,
it's called a
we
retrospective.
call it a
Let me
retrospective.
explain, okay? Before we talk about retrospectives, let me talk about what an after-action review is, because it provides a really good example.
Some
Yeah.
context.
Yeah, some context, right? An after-action review, or an AAR, it's much faster to say that in the Army, is something you do the second you're done with a particular mission, be it training or real world. As soon as you're done, you bring the whole team together and you go through, give me the top 2 or 3 things that went well, that did not go well, and that you're going to improve the next time. And so what it creates is an environment for the entire team to immediately look at how things went, not a week from now or a month from now when you forget, like right then and there. Hey, we did a great job of maneuvering to the left and shooting our weapons this time. Paul did a terrible job of reading the map, right? You should read it better next time. And next time we should get Paul GPS. Okay, yeah. And for all you lieutenants out there, yeah, hey man, you can't read a map. I know. It's just what it is. So that concept called the AAR, I chuckled when I got into the professional career, I would say, outside the military, is there are all these new concepts and they're called retrospectives. And I say, hey man, we've been doing this for years. My background, I think there's other context here, is in program management and in particular in software and IT. And that's where there's this thing called a retrospective came about. I forget how many years ago. Leave in the comments if you know. It's probably 20 years ago. Anyway, the retrospective is the exact same thing that you can do with your business team, or in that particular case, your software team, to say, hey, how did things go, right? We just released this piece of software. What went well? What didn't go well? What do we want to fix for next time? But that same concept, when you apply to your team on a monthly basis in particular, oh man, woo, it's powerful.
Well, I'll say, I grew up with the military dad and then a military husband, and I'd heard about this after action review, and then I watched him do these retrospectives. And when we started our business, I was like, do we really need that? Like, what is that going to accomplish? So I was skeptical. I really was. And I very begrudgingly attended those first few. Probably some of our team did the same, very begrudgingly, going, why the heck are we rehashing everything? And all this mushy gushy, what went well, what not so well. I'm not that person. And but I'm now bought in. I see the results of it now, and the environment that it creates. So I just wanted to put that in there.
No,
If you're skeptical, trust the process. It's weird at first, but it gets better, and there is purpose to it.
yeah, there's a lot of purpose. Let's talk about the purpose.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to say very quickly, hey, tell me 3 things that went well, 3 things that did not. But what does that really do for your team, for your business? When you have people reflect on things that went well, one, it automatically puts them to a mindset of positivity, right? Which is really important, because you want a positive attitude and atmosphere to grow within your company, get excited. Hey, you know what? I sold 50 life apps this week. That's phenomenal, right? Go ahead and pat myself on the back. And you want the rest of the team to know that. That's really cool. So first, it provides a chance for everyone to talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about the good stuff. It's very simple and easy for us to talk about the negative. Our brains do it. And so it's really weird to do the good stuff first, right? And within our company, I have a goal of making sure that the positive list is longer than the negative one. Even if there's actually more issues, like I'll just start writing random words like, my hair is good, right? Like I'll put in good things because I want people to have a positive outlook. Things are going to go wrong. Things go bad. They happen every day. But it's a matter of just pushing through it, right? So let's have a positive attitude, figure out the solutions to the problems. Okay, so that's part 1. Part two is the what did not go well, right? Which is very easy for people to do. They'll start pointing it out. Here's why this is really effective within our team or any team when you do this, is that it gets a little uncomfortable. And that's okay. Because once you get into that regular cadence of doing this, everybody knows you're going to air the laundry, yours included. So one, it provides a basis of trust. Hey, I've got some trust in my team that they're going to tell me like what's up, what's really going on. The second thing is that it airs the laundry, and the team's going to find out. I had no idea that was going on. Happens all the time, right? We'll have team members say, "Hey, look, phew, I had all these problems with onboarding because Microsoft Teams was broken again." It's like, well, I had no idea, right? And that will lead to, well, what's our backup if that happens? What's our backup to the backup if that happens? And you don't know unless the team members tell us. Third thing that I think is phenomenal, I'm so stoked about that,
This
is
is his baby, in case y'all can't.
is that when you're a business owner in a leadership position, in the case where you have, let's say, a medium or large team, you're typically only going to speak with your immediate directors, right? In our case, maybe we have 2 to 4 that we're going to speak to regularly, but we don't speak to the whole team on a regular basis. This is the chance for you to speak with everybody on your team, right? And find out, how's it going for you? What's going great? What did not go well? Oh, I had no idea, right? And the laundry comes out. And here's my favorite conclusion to all this is when you figure out the laundry, right, and it's dirty, you can figure out a way to solve it, right? And so as a business owner, you can quickly learn what are the top 3 things you need to fix in your business based on those retrospectives. And you wouldn't know that if you didn't have them. If you just let things go, people aren't going to tell you, right? Like people don't tell bad news. They don't like to. But if you provide that safe environment where they're not going to get chastised, like, hey, let's just call it what it is. Like, I didn't do too great last week. I could use some help. Okay. When you do that, you're going to identify your problems faster and more often. And then my favorite thing about this is that allows you to make the change right then and there. And I'm telling you, your business will skyrocket because you will adjust fire left and right really rapidly and improve your business rather than waiting months for something to be perfect. You just rapidly iterate.
One thing that I love about it is, in addition to airing the dirty laundry, when the whole team is discussing things that are going great or things that are not going so great, it creates like this team ownership of all of it, right? When we all discuss it together and we all brainstorm ways to fix it, or we brainstorm which ones are the priority, the whole team takes ownership of those issues, even if it's quote unquote not my job, right? So if someone else says, hey, our department really struggled in this area, the team has an opportunity to jump in. Maybe they've experienced something similar in their department. We have a couple of new products that we've launched. And 2 years ago, we had the exact same problems or very similar ones that
We were figured out.
we've already figured it out. And so the rest of the team can kind of take ownership in those problems, and the team that's having the problem or the individual that's struggling doesn't feel alone in that struggle.
That's right.
It allows them to kind of step outside of their discomfort and just disclose it to the team like, hey, these things are going great, but this piece is maybe not going so well, and I really could use some help. And I think that that's a better way to identify problems than for someone coming at them, telling them it's not going well. They get to
That's right.
disclose their own issues, and then we all work together to solve it. So the team ownership perspective was the unintended consequence, or unexpected for me,
Yeah.
consequence. You probably intended it and had it planned all along, Mr. Army guy. But I definitely did not think that that would be a result of these retrospectives. And it's been a really cool thing to see that we all celebrate together and we all solve the puzzle together. And then maybe on the next retrospective, we celebrate having solved that puzzle, which happened on our last one. We had lots of puzzles in January and February.
Puzzles.
And then our March retrospective, some of those things were in the what went well column because we solved them and we got to celebrate that. And it was pretty cool.
Absolutely. One of my favorite things that comes out of a retrospective, because let me back up. I love improving things. I'm that kind of guy. Like, what can I take in our business or life and make it just a little bit better, right? I'm not even kidding. I'll look at our sidewalk and I'm like, I could pressure wash that and make it like nicer. Like, cool.
There's no resting on your laurels in our household.
Oh, there's always something you could do better. Always, right? And it's just a lifelong mantra. I'm not aiming for perfection, but in my mindset, I think it's our responsibility to improve every bit of our lives every single day because we've been given this gift. Let's do it, right? And there's no reason to grovel about it. Just make it better. And the retrospectives do that from a business standpoint. All right, here's the list of things that aren't going well. What are you going to do about it? And an immediate result of the retrospectives is we make what we call and what are we going to do about it for the following month? And we choose, let's say, 2 or 3 priorities of that, and we go attack it and see, like Chastity said, can we move those problems into the green column of one went well? As a business owner, like one, it's allowing you to identify your top problems and solve them, right? Rather than letting them linger and get worse. What I like to do is talk about how to run them, right? And some very effective ways to like not lose track of what you just did. Very easy to have the meeting, a little harder to keep track of it. So one thing we do, one, of course, is have the meeting on time. If you schedule for 12 o'clock, start at 12 o'clock. Build in about 6 minutes for everyone to be like, hey, how's it going? Because it's going to happen, especially if you have 16 people on your team.
Better women.
Yes. Yes, you can't. Yes, so I've learned, I've learned in our team to add about a 10-minute buffer in all my meetings of just chit chat. I literally have it written on my chit chat, and then we get into the meetings.
Because we love each other.
Absolutely, no, it's wonderful. It's great. It's great, right? And then I do my 1-word email right after that, right? That's how my brain works. So anyway, second thing is to go through your team members and be specific. Hey, look, give me 2 things that are good, 2 things that went poorly, right? And don't solve it. It's going to be very tempting to try to solve the problem right then and there. But the purpose of the retrospective is to capture everything first. Then you can solve it later. So facilitating is a bit of is an art, and going through each one of your team members to capture what went well, what did not go well. Do that first. Go through everybody. At the end, you can start identifying, all right, here's our top big items. And if you have time, you can go ahead and start solving it, right? What I prefer to do is identify those things, put them in my little hopper of hey, let's dig into this and who's really going to be responsible, and then find who you should delegate it to. It might be yourself, right? Second thing for running this is have a consistent spot to put it in, right? So, okay, of course, I've talked about this before on our podcast. We have a CRM that we use. It's live in real time and it's captured. And I type it in real time as we're going through the retrospective. And so when we're done, it's there. And it's accessible by everyone. So as soon as we're done, they can go look at what we discussed, including what our next actions are. I found this to be really powerful when we have our follow-on at retrospective, because you just pull the other one up and hey, did we do what we said we were going to do? And it's a great way to lead into that retrospective. Hey guys, last month we talked about these things being a hot trash can. Are they just a trash can now? Right? Not so hot. Right.
I'm not on fire this month.
Yeah. Is it a dumpster fire? I'm not sure. And lead in, but it's hard to do if you've done a paper copy and it's lost somewhere, or we have this floating spreadsheet somewhere. If you have a CRM that allows you to put documents like that, or a centralized space where everyone has access, do that. Much more effective.
I agree. And having it documented, the team can refer back to it if they want to. Or what's really fun is if you have an annual one, you can refer to where you were in the beginning of the year and kind of the things you were struggling. And they, at that time, seem so big.
That's right.
But then we look back and you're like, that's what we were worried about. Look how it's turned out, So it's kind of cool. It sets this really neat perspective for you. And I know that you've been harping on it a lot in our household and within our team. He's read this book, The Gap and the Gain, and it shows you, the gain that you've made. And you can talk about that another day, or if you want to touch on it now, if you want to nerd out over the book, we can. But the gain is basically this. It's a principle that you look at how far you've come, not how far you have to go.
That's right.
And so you can look back at these retrospectives and the notes that you took, right?
Yeah.
And see how far you've come and how at that time things seem so monumental, but you accomplished them, right? And you can be proud of that. And the whole team, again, can celebrate that together, and to know that we did that together. Even if it wasn't necessarily their department or their job, we all had a part in fixing it.
Absolutely.
Making things better.
Yeah, 100%. It provides a wonderful roadmap of your business.
Yes.
Right. You can go see from, in our case, 2 years ago, month by month, here's what we dealt with, here's what we solved, here's what we dealt with, and it's, Chastity's absolutely right. Oh, I worried so much about the swag shop. not a problem.
We worried so much about launching the podcast.
Yes.
And here we are on episode, I don't know.
It's an episode. Oh, the numbering, Kristen will handle the numbering later, I'm sure, which is great. So this episode's whatever she says.
She's going to
probably pop up
right here. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. For me, to summarize this discussion, the retrospective, in my opinion, is the most important meeting that you can have in your business, bar none. It's more important than any other meeting because it builds camaraderie. It builds trust instantly. It identifies your issues. It gives you a forum to figure out what's going on. And as a business owner, you get a snapshot right there. What's going on in my business? What do I need to go fix? Who do I need to applaud? Everybody wins.
Yes.
It is, if you're not doing it, do it. Leave comments or send me an email and I'll help you out. I feel that passionately about it. So let me know. I'm willing to help out.
Yes. And the positivity that comes along with it. We've definitely seen our team applaud each other. Some of the what went wells, we found our team shouting each other out.
That's right.
And so it builds this really cool team culture. It really does put the positive first. And so our team leaves that meeting with like, yeah, we just aired out all the stuff that isn't working so well.
Yeah.
But man, look at all we did well, right?
That's right.
And so it puts that first and at the forefront. And so we all leave usually built up. So if you are on a team or if you are wondering, is a retrospective for me? I say try it. You're going to be surprised, I think. And if you're a team member, embrace it. I was skeptical, but I went along with it. And after the first one, I was convinced, and I love it. I look forward to it. And it's just a really cool process to see. And it's a really cool tool to look back at how far you've come.
100%. Yeah, I love it.
So retrospective, you should start one tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Today.
I'm not even kidding.
Don't waste time.
Give me a call. That's right.
Yeah, if you need help, I'll help you.
That's right. Or I'll send you an email that says, sure. We good? Okay. Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done a retrospective before, do so. It'll make a huge difference in your business. If you have, leave some comments down below of what has gone well with you with using a retrospective in your business. If you haven't already, be sure to follow us on YouTube, Amazon, and Spotify so you can get all the latest updates. Thank you so much for joining.
You can also keep up with us on social media. We have an Instagram page, Remotely Speaking Podcast. And then if you want to keep up with our businesses, we have Agency Resource Solutions and AR Sidekicks. We will see you next time.
See you guys later.